Everything you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell is a simulation. Your senses aren't showing you the world. They're showing you what your body interprets the world to be. You might have mistaken the interface for reality itself, but the real you has never been touched, only observed the illusion of it. In this video, we will be discussing the five senses, the nervous system, the brain, consciousness, and how reality is pretty much a simulation, and how you can use that to your advantage. The five senses, this is why we have 5 fingers on each hand. This is why we have 5 points on the body. We have 5 toes on each foot. The number 5 is a mystery number to me, and I like to perceive it in this way. The number 5 to me seems like a gateway number because the number sequence goes through 1 to 9 and 5 sits in the middle. It is that gateway that transitions over from 1, 2, 3, and 4 over to 6, 7, 8, and 9. It is kind of like the gateway between spirit and matter. The number 5 to me symbolizes the interaction between spirit and matter, how consciousness is bridged into experiencing a material physical world. 5 is that number based on my conclusions. So let's talk about the 5 senses. In essence, we do not merely touch, taste, smell, hear, and see with our sensory organs. What these experiences are products of our brain's interpretations of electrical signals. Yes, the body is a bioelectric piece of technology. We see with our brain. We smell with our brain. We experience all of our senses through the brain's intricate processing. When I touch something, that sensation is not actually me feeling what is there. It is an electrical signal going through my nervous system to my brain, and the brain is interpreting that in electrical waves. And I am the observer behind the brain's interpretation. When I say I'm referring to my pure awareness, my pure consciousness. The I within us interacts with the physical world. Therefore, we can see the number 5 as a bridge between the intangible and the internal consciousness, the tangible and the external world. Therefore, reality is not actually outside of us. It is a simulation produced by the brain and the nervous system. The ancient Egyptians used the Eye of Horus or the Eye of Ra, whichever one you wish to call it, as a symbol of consciousness interacting with the physical world through the 5 senses. We have an eye. An eye is a symbol of the observer, but this is not referring to our physical eye, is referring to the I am within, the consciousness. And if we look around it, we see the symbols of the senses. We have the nose, the pupil, which is the physical sight, the eyebrow, which kind of represents thought. We have the ear, which represents hearing, vibration. We have the tongue, which is taste, and the finger for touch. This is an ancient symbol of consciousness interacting with the 5 senses and the physical plane. So I'm going to read what I put here in the Book of Wisdom, Volume 2. The 5 senses are in essence electrical threads of light, intricately connecting our consciousness to the physical plane. These 5 senses operate through electrical impulses, just as every cell in our body is governed by electricity. The human body is fundamentally an electrical machine. When the nerves detect pain, what is actually occurring is an overload voltage of electrical voltages that surpass the nerve's capacity to handle it. This excess strain causes the nerves to burn out, and it is this burning out, this disruption in the electrical system, that manifests the physical sensation of pain. When the body experiences an electrical current running through its nerves, it becomes acutely aware that something is disrupting the internal balance, which basically means a sense, something that we feel is an imbalance within the electrical nervous system. For instance, when we sit still and enter a deep meditative state, the body achieves balance and no sensory input is perceived. The absence of the senses reflect the state of harmony. However, when the body falls out of balance, sensation arises as signals indicating areas of imbalances. However, when the body falls out of balance, sensation arises as signals indicating areas of imbalances. This is what we recognize as smell, sight, touch, hearing, taste. Each of these senses are essentially a result of electrical currents being disrupted or unbalanced within the body. Our 5 senses are designed and limited only to perceive the physical material world, to decode the physical plane. With that being said, the earth can be seen as the physical body because we are not something inside of a universe separate from the universe. The universe is literally our very own being because our body is what's producing the simulation of earth or physical reality. Without the brain, we cannot see, touch, taste, hear. What we call earth is in fact our five senses and our body. Without the body, we cannot experience earth or physical reality. But like I said, the five senses are designed only to perceive the physical world. Their scope only confined to the material realm. They're not equipped to grasp the full breadth of reality, as this limitation is intentional by God or the grand architect of the universe, whatever you wish to call it, the higher intelligence that designed the human body. It's on purpose that the five senses are limited to the physical world. But there is one thing that can access beyond the scope of the five senses, beyond that small layer of reality, and that is what we call the conscious mind. The conscious mind can, in fact, have the knowledge and the ability to experience the full, deeper, unseen aspects of existence. I've put here, God designed our senses to focus only on the tangible, while the mind serves as the gateway to understand the deeper, unseen aspects of existence. These boundaries encourage us to seek the unseen aspects of existence. These boundaries encourage us to seek wisdom beyond the illusion of the sensory perception, to expand our consciousness beyond the physical world. What's amazing with the mind is that the mind can expand infinitely. I personally think this is the reason why scientists say the universe is always expanding and never stops expanding. Well, the universe is the mind. Thank you to the book called The Kabbalion, revealing that the all is mind, the universe is mental. The mind is always expanding into new fields of thought, new realms of thought, and new pockets of thought within the mental plane. There is no space. There is no time in the mind. The mind cannot be filled up because it does not exist physically as a physical substance. It is the mind that can travel the depths of the universe. We can astral project, we can have lucid dreams, we can have mystical experiences within our own mind, which is the temple of the divine. Everything visible originates from the invisible. All that is illuminated exists first in darkness. What we see is fleeting. What remains unseen is eternal. The world outside is transient, ever-changing, but the inner self remains constant and enduring. In the Bible, it talks about the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. These can be seen as the two trees within the human body. The tree of life can be seen as the feminine cardiovascular system, which is the tree that ultimately gives life and spirit to the physical body. It animates physical life. The blood pumps blood to the brain and around the body. The cardiovascular system is an extension of the heart, which itself functions in many ways like a secondary brain. Symbolically, the nervous system represents the masculine energy, while the cardiovascular system embodies the feminine. The tree of knowledge of good and evil could be the central nervous system. It is this system that allows us to experience good and evil. Now, why do I say that? Because the central nervous system is literally the simulation allowing our consciousness to experience this dual reality. Physical reality is dual, it has day and night, hot and cold, good and evil. This is the tree of knowledge. This is what allows our mind, our consciousness to experience this physical reality of duality. Without the nervous system, we would not gain the knowledge of good and evil, of duality. And what's even shocking is that in Genesis 2:9, the tree of life is described to be in the midst of the garden, which could be seen as the midst of the body, which is the human heart. Together, the nervous system and the cardiovascular system form the foundation of human life. The nervous system allows the soul to experience the world, while the cardiovascular system ensures the body is nourished and alive. These two great systems, one governing sensation and consciousness, the other one feeding life to the physical body, enable the divine presence of the universe to be expressed through the human form. The body is a vessel of consciousness, a sacred temple through which light and awareness are manifested. I just wanted to talk a little bit about Lucifer and how Lucifer relates to the visual field within the brain. Lucifer was known as God's most beautiful angel. And when we say beautiful, that is symbolic and metaphorical of vision, what we see. So it represents the beauty, one of the five senses of the physical world. If we look closely at the sigil of Lucifer and overlap this on the human brain visual field, it's literally identical to the human brain visual field. How light enters the eyes, travels through the optic nerve, and creates the image that we see at the back of the brain called the visual cortex. So therefore, what we see is not actually outside of us, but a simulation and an image produced by our brain. Breaking down the word Lucifer, Luci means light in Latin. Fer means to bring. So the word Lucifer means light bringer or light bring, which are the eyes. They bring in light to the brain, and the brain produces what we see. What's even more striking is the connection between Lucifer and Venus. Venus is known as the morning star, and it is the star just before the sun rises in the morning. Every morning you'll see Venus just before the sunrise. And Venus is all to do with beauty, hence why there is a beauty brand called Venus. And again, that relates to Lucifer. This is why Lucifer and Venus have a very strong connection. Therefore, Lucifer is not some external being outside of us. It is an energy within our own life. It is when our consciousness falls into the illusions of the beauty of the external world. It's when our soul becomes trapped only caring about the external material gain, and we become lost in the beauty of the world. It is the light that can lure us in. It looks beautiful, but it lures us in, actually corrupting us into darkness. It's a seduction. Lucifer, to me, represents how something can look and appear so beautiful. It lures you in and pulls you in, but actually slowly corrupts you into darkness. And that can be seen as a symbol of the physical world. The physical world has amazing pleasures, beauties. People can say certain things, lure you in, and actually screw you over in life. But it is a symbol of how our soul can become lost in the beauty of the material things, as they look so good, but they lure the soul into darkness. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like, comment, and a subscribe. This video hopefully has expanded your mind into some new fields of thought. Have an amazing day.